Hey friends, I love this story in Mark chapter 2 where Jesus heals a paralyzed man. The story starts out in Capernaum, which is Jesus' home base for his ministry. And the people hear that Jesus is back in town and they're excited and hungry to hear Jesus' teaching. So they come flooding in. And so Jesus is in this little house and people are just pouring in. There are wall-to-wall people in the house, and so much so that it pours out the door and onto the street. And you've got this massive crowd there to hear Jesus teaching. Well, there's these four men that have a friend that's paralyzed, and they just think to themselves, man, if we can just get our friend to Jesus, he can change our friend's situation. He can heal him from this paralysis. But they get there and they realize, man, the crowd is so massive, we're never going to be able to get our friend through this crowd. And so they think outside the box and decide to carry their friend up on a mat on top of the roof, and they literally dig a hole so that they can lower their friend down with ropes right in front of Jesus. When Jesus sees this, when he sees the faith of the paralyzed man, when he sees the faith of his friends, he looks at the paralyzed man and says, "My child, your sins are forgiven you." When I read this story, I wonder, when we look at paralysis in many different forms in the world around us, when we look at our friends dealing with addiction and family members that are dealing with depression and anxiety and past hurts, when we look at neighbors and coworkers that are dealing with broken relationships, do we think to ourselves, man, if we could just get them to Jesus, Jesus can change their situation. Jesus can heal them from this. You know, this paralyzed man, he had to be carried everywhere because of his paralysis by his friends. He had to lean on the help of others to get him where he needed to be. I wonder if we have friends around us that need that same thing from us.